Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Before we get started, I wanted to welcome any newcomers who may be with us today. Oh, okay. Today, we are blessed to have Elizabeth Bexel as our speaker. Elizabeth is a licensed Unity teacher, and she has a long background in Unity and has pursued many other spiritual disciplines as well, such as the Enneagram and Heart Intelligence. Her title today is The Great Balancing Act. Elizabeth, thanks so much for being here today. We are also blessed to have Ralph Leesburg providing our music today. So let's thank Ralph.
Thank you.
We have a couple of announcements. The Unity Women's Lunch Group will gather this Tuesday, August 5th, at the Scramblers Restaurant along Route 23 in Lewis Center. That's 12:30 this Tuesday. A reminder to you, yogis out there, that Gentle Yoga with Yogi Tamara is on hiatus during the month of August. It will resume classes on Thursdays at 1 on September 4th. And finally, many thanks to everyone joining us today, both here and online, and for supporting our ministry with your tithes and donations, whether by PayPal, through our website, or here in our offering baskets. We are grateful for your support. As always, we start with prayer, holding the highest in mind and heart for ourselves, each other, our communities, and our world. If you're listening in online, remember you can send a prayer request anytime via our website, unitydelawareohio.org. Just use the prayer request tab at the top of the page. Now Ralph will lead us into prayer with a song.
And you know this one. Karen Drucker. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Good morning. Glad you're here today. So as we take this time just to settle into this sacred moment, I invite you to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, just settling into the support of your chair and your body, and allow yourselves to arrive fully in this moment. There's nowhere to be, there's nothing to do, just a sacred space to return to the stillness within each one of us. And as we sense the divine presence within, expressing through us, as us, we know that we are not alone. We are not without help. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. Breathe into this awareness and release whatever burdens you have been carrying for this moment. We know that the light of God surrounds us. God's wisdom guides us along the path, showing us what is ours to do. and the love of God enfolds us. We are comforted by the infinite grace of God. The power of God protects us. We are safe. We are whole. We have all the resources we need to thrive in this world. And the presence of God watches over us, all of us. We hold this truth for all who are present this morning, for all who are joining us online, and for all beings everywhere. There is not a spot where God is not. Just relax and allow yourself to be held in this moment by the rhythm of your breath and by the timeless presence of God. In this moment of sacred communion, we can say, "Be still and know that I am God." We are rooted in divine presence. We are calm in the midst of change. We walk through this time with grace and with clarity. God in us is our steady anchor, and we trust that divine order is at work in the world. We give thanks, knowing that balance and peace live within us. We are guided by God's wisdom, and we are centered in God's light. And so it is. Amen.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I wrote this on the beach in North Carolina after reading whatever day in July it was of the Ernest Holmes 365 Science of Mind book. When it said it talked about looking through the eyes of God, so that brought this out. When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see everything that is worth seeing. When you're looking through the eyes of God, you will see all the joy that you are being. When you're watching everything go by, from the earth up to the highest sky, you will see it will be ecstasy when you're looking through the eyes of God. And when you're knowing with the mind of God, you will know everything that is worth knowing. When you're going with the flow of God, it will show in the way your life is growing. When you're living every single day in the way that you have learned how to pray, you will see it will be ecstasy when you're looking through the eyes of God. It will be ecstasy when you're looking through the eyes of God. When you're loving with the heart of God, you will feel all the joy of your existence. When you're loving from the start of God, you will know that it's the path of least resistance. When you open up your heart and say, I can see that love is truly the way, you will see it will be ecstasy when you're looking through the eyes of God. You will see it will be ecstasy when you're looking through the eyes of God. You will see it will be ecstasy when you're looking through the eyes of God. Thank you. And now, Liz Betzel.
Thank you, Ralph. It's always a joy. Your music is uplifting, so thank you for that. And thank you for being here on this gorgeous day. There are other things to do, I'm sure, and so glad you made this your thing to do this morning. And And so we're talking about the Great Balancing Act this morning. And of course, I have a few, I won't call them jokes. They're just humorous thoughts. It was the best I could find. So at least hopefully they'll bring a smile to your face. So balance is the key, they say. That's why my diet is 50% cake and 50% guilt. And they say you need balance in life. That's why I rotate between naps and snacks. So why did the bicycle fall over? It was too tired. I know, that's a groaner. And finally, did you hear about the circus acrobat who had to quit? He just couldn't find his balance. Yeah, I wish there were better ones out there, but that's the best I could do. So, and thinking about balance, I think it's really important in the times that we're facing because we are living through a deeply challenging moment in history. Sometimes it's tempting to feel as though the world is unraveling around us, as if everything that's familiar is dissolving. And many of us are holding grief, uncertainty, confusion, and maybe fatigue. And yet, let's pause and take a broader view. Let's remember something very important. We have been so very lucky. We've lived through one of the most peaceful, prosperous, and extraordinary periods in human history. If you look back across the centuries at Europe, at Africa, at Asia, the Americas, the Middle East, what do you see? Wars, plagues, collapse, upheaval. Human history is largely a story of disruption and survival. But we've lived in a kind of a golden age. So instead of saying, my God, why is everything falling apart? Maybe we need to reframe that question. How do I take this gift that I've been given, this extraordinary period of relative peace and possibility, and use it to keep the lights on? How do I remember to anchor my, how do I help anchor spiritual truth and compassionate presence right here and now? This is our invitation in this time. And it begins with returning to the deepest truth of who and what we are. In the Unity tradition, we affirm that we live, move, and have our being in God. We affirm that all of life is sacred, and we know that all of life is energy, and that energy seeks harmony. Just as a tree grows toward the light, while at the same time sinking its roots deep into the earth, we too are called to live in balance. Balance between spirit and physical form, balance between giving and receiving, balance between being and doing. We're not just human beings reacting to a broken world. We are spiritual beings expressing eternal light, having a temporary human experience. That means we are never powerless. We are never separated from God, and we always have access to a deeper ground of being, a place in us untouched by external storms. So the question becomes, how do I access that ground? How do I stay balanced in the storm? One resource I have discovered for maintaining balance as I engage in the physical world, especially as I listen to the news or read the daily news, are the prayers of Rabbi Erwin Keller. In 2016, Rabbi Keller shared this prayer to be used before learning about the day's news. My God, the soul you have placed in me is pure and vulnerable. I'm afraid that looking at today's news will be painful. Encircle me in a robe of light so that I can witness the wounds of the world without being wounded myself. Let me learn what I need to do in order to be of greatest use, without becoming overwhelmed by despair. I feel your protective light now as I open myself to the world's sufferings and to the world's joys. He also created a prayer for after reading the news. My God, I am yours, and all that is in the world is yours. Today, I have read stories and seen images, but my knowledge is incomplete. I don't know how it all connects, but I know that I am connected to everyone. I take joy in their joy, and I suffer with their suffering. If there is no role for me to play today, then let my learning leave me wiser and better prepared. If there is a role for me to play, let clarity rise in me to see it, even if that role is a humble one. lift up the work of my hands in anything I do for peace, for justice, for the wholeness of our planet, or for the betterment of our community. Just as you turned the curse of Balaam into a blessing, so may all my actions accrue to the good. And I found that reciting these prayers or reading them as I focus on the physical world of humanity helps me to keep that balance between my physical being and the spiritual aspects of my nature. And I did include copies of those prayers if you're interested on the back tables, if you want to pick them up on your way out. I found them very, very powerful. These prayers help me to remember that it's not up to me to fix all the brokenness that I see. I do not need to feel overwhelmed. It reminds me that God's presence is everywhere, even in these things I've just learned about. And it reminds me that I am not the source. I am the channel of God's expression in this world, and that my focus is to be on allowing God's love and wisdom to flow through my actions. Another essential key to living a balanced life is learning about the importance of participating. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when we stop engaging in life. When we disconnect from meaningful action, helplessness can quickly set in. But something powerful happens when we take even the smallest step toward contribution. We begin to remember that we are part of something good, something intelligent, and something sacred. That life is holy, and that Spirit expresses through us in countless ways. When we participate, even in small acts, great things can unfold. Consider the inspiring story of Jessica Rudolph, who's the founder of My Very Own Blanket. In 1999, Jessica was a busy mother with 3 young children, just 1, 2, and 3 years of age. At bedtime, unable to hold all 3 at once, she would sit quietly in their nursery, knitting as they drifted off to sleep. Watching them snuggle with their blankets, she felt a stirring in her heart. She realized that the blanket she was working on needed to go to a child who didn't have the same comfort as her children had, a child in foster care. Jessica shared her idea with family and friends and set a modest goal to make 12 blankets that year. By the end of that first year, she had collected 87 handmade blankets for children entering the foster care system in Central Ohio. What began as one mother's act of compassion quickly grew into a grassroots movement that reached far beyond her original circle. Over time, My Very Own Blanket expanded to include volunteers from all walks of life, even prison inmates in Central Ohio who contribute their time and care to making blankets. These volunteers, lovingly known as Blanket Angels, have created thousands of handmade blankets for children in foster care, not just in Ohio, but nearly every state across the U.S. Each blanket carries a very special My Very Own Blanket tag with a space for the blanket maker's name, a space for the child's name, and a handwritten message, a deeply personal touch that reminds each child that they are seen and valued and loved. In 2024, Blanket Angels donated over 37,000 handmade blankets. The goal for 2025 is even more ambitious, 40,000. These blankets are now distributed through foster care agencies, both public and private, not only across the United States, but also in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Canada, Australia, England, and Ireland. Each blanket is more than just fabric and thread. It's a gift of warmth, comfort, and belonging, a gentle reminder to each child that they matter and that someone, somewhere cares. Just like Jessica Rudolph, each one of us has gifts, knowledge, skills, and compassion that are desperately needed right now. These don't have to be grand gestures. They can be small daily acts of love and kindness. How we listen to someone, how we speak to strangers, how we show up for a neighbor, and maybe most importantly, how we treat ourselves with gentleness. Another aspect of balance is the wisdom of allowing, letting what is present in any moment to arise without fear or resistance. This kind of openness invites grace into our lives, even in uncertain times. Recently, my daughter Anna shared a mantra that she had created to help guide her through a period of transition. She is completing her supervision hours for a master's degree in social work while focusing on counseling. As she searches for her next role, a place where she can offer her unique gifts, she centers herself with these words: I am thankful that the doors not meant for me remain closed. May the doors that are meant for me stay open, and may I have the courage to walk through them. Her mantra touched something deep within me. Not long ago, I found myself seeking new ways to volunteer, new ways to participate in life, ways to offer my time and energy in service. I initially felt drawn to the public library. I love books, I'm a lifelong reader, and I find joy in sharing what I've learned with others. It seemed like a perfect alignment of my passion and my purpose. But when I applied, I was told there were no volunteer positions available. Instead of feeling disappointed, which is my usual way, I paused and remembered Anna's mantra, and I understood that this closed door was guidance in itself, and I was grateful instead of being sad. Soon after, I recalled a beautiful organization that I had encountered during a service event at Columbus State, my very own blanket. Their vision is simple and profound. It gives a personalized handmade blanket to every child entering the foster care system. I reached out and was welcomed into a warm, vibrant community of volunteers. The joy I found in this work and the companionship of fellow blanket angels has been greater than I could have imagined. What once felt like a detour turned into a deeper path, filled with meaning, connection, and quiet fulfillment. In the harmony of life, giving and receiving are not opposites, but two balanced expressions of the spiritual law of circulation. We believe that we live in an abundant, ever-flowing universe where love, peace, supply, and healing are infinite and always seeking expression through us. When we give freely, from a place of love, not of obligation, we become open channels for divine flow. And when we receive graciously, without guilt or resistance, we affirm our worthiness and allow Spirit to complete this sacred circuit. Just as the heart gives and receives with every beat, so too must we live in harmony with the rhythm of life. Through the sacred balance of giving and receiving, when we give without pause, we risk exhaustion. When we receive without offering, we risk stagnation. But when we allow both to flow, we experience wholeness, a graceful dance where generosity and receptivity move together, guided by the quiet wisdom of the soul. When we align with this truth, we no longer give to get, nor do we receive without hesitation or fear. We trust that every act of giving uplifts the whole and includes us in that blessing. Likewise, every act of receiving becomes the honoring of the giver and a magnification of divine love. In this secret exchange, we become open vessels for divine good to flow through us and into the world. What's truly astonishing is how deeply we understand this rhythm, even as young children. I recently came across a touching example of this innate wisdom in a story shared by Zena Hamilton, a contributor to Reader's Digest. She says, "When I was 7, my family drove to the Grand Canyon. At one point, my favorite blanket flew out the window and was gone, and I was devastated. Soon after, we stopped at a service station. Moping, I found a bench and was about to eat my sandwich when a biker gang pulled into the station. 'Is that your blue Ford?' a huge, frightening man with a gray and black beard asked. My mom nodded reticently. The man pulled my blanket from his jacket pocket and handed it to me. He then returned to his motorcycle. I repaid him the only way I knew how. I ran up to him and I gave him my sandwich." One of my favorite stories from the Old Testament offers yet another key to living a balanced life. You may remember the prophet Balaam, who was mentioned in Rabbi Keller's prayer. And you may remember that Balaam was not remembered not so much for his prophecies, but for being famously upstaged by his own donkey. In the story, Balaam is summoned by a foreign king to curse the Israelites. As he sets off on his journey, his donkey sees what Balaam cannot see, an angel standing in the road, blocking their path. The donkey veers off course to avoid the divine presence, but Balaam, unaware of the angel, responds with frustration and strikes the animal 3 times. Then, in a moment that is both humorous and deeply revealing, the donkey speaks. As a child, I loved the sheer absurdity of this scene. A talking donkey. It felt like something out of a fairy tale. But beneath the humor lies a powerful message. Balaam, a prophet, is spiritually blind. His perspective is clouded by ego, rigidity, and attachment to his own agenda. He is focused solely on the physical world, on control and on outcome. He cannot see what the donkey, humble and grounded, sees so clearly. Now contrast Balaam with Moses. When Moses encounters a burning bush, he does something subtle but profound. He turns aside. He notices. He pauses. Rather than rushing past or dismissing a moment, he's curious. He asks questions. And because of that openness, he hears the voice of God. Moses shows us the spiritual power of presence. When we meet life with humility, curiosity, and a willingness to be surprised, we create space for the sacred to speak. Whether through a donkey or flame, the divine is always reaching out to us, but it is up to us to listen, to turn aside, and to receive. As a community, we are at our best when we resist the temptation to react with judgment or certainty. When we take a moment to turn aside, to really see one another, to ask questions instead of assuming answers. We create the kind of sacred space where growth, connection, and healing become possible. May we each be blessed with the courage to soften our hearts, to open our eyes, and perhaps to listen, even when the voice of truth comes from an unexpected place. After all, if God can speak through a talking donkey, imagine what we might hear if we truly listen to each other. Let's close in a word of prayer. As we become still in this sacred moment, may we remember that we've been gifted to live in an extraordinary window of history, that we are spiritual beings, never alone, never powerless, that we are held in the presence of beloved community, that our participation matters, even in small daily ways, that our ground is the divine presence in us, and from there we live, we love, and we serve. Loving presence, in the midst of uncertainty, you are the anchor. Thank you for the sacred gift of life, of practice, of community, and of purpose. Help us walk forward from this place, rooted in your peace, open to your guidance, and faithful to the light you place within each one of us. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Liz. I'll tell you the story of the biker and the little girl that I saw when I was carrying mail once upon a time, a long time ago. I always liked the idea of a lighthouse as being a metaphor for spiritual truth. And so that's how this song came about. There's a longer story, but I'm not going to tell that one right now. There have been dark times in my life, times I could hardly see. There were times when it seemed like the whole wide world shut off its light for me. Times that I felt so bad, despair had taken its toll, like I was shut up in a windowless room in a dark night of the soul. That's when I saw the beacon of light, saw the beacon of hope. I felt the tower of strength, giving me the power to cope, lighting up my path, showing me the truth. It was there all the time, the lighthouse of truth. Now when the sun seems to disappear, dark clouds fill the skies, I know hope is always near. I just have to open my eyes. It stands taller than the trees, and its light is shining true over the raging seas, with the promise for me and you. On and on, illuminating where we need to go. Never is it faltering, ever does it grow. When I think about how I got here, I sometimes wonder about the changes in me, from a person who was living in fear to a person who is living free. And if I just keep moving ahead, living life day by day, accepting my daily bread, with the truth to light my way, that's when I'll see the beacon of light, see the beacon of hope. I'll feel that tower of strength, giving me the power to cope, lighting up my path, showing me the proof it was there all the time, the lighthouse of truth. Yes, it was there all the time, the lighthouse of truth.
Wow, that was great, Ralph.
Well, thank you.
I like that song. First of all, we want to thank our speaker, Elizabeth Betzel, for her message. Very timely message. Thank you to our musician, Ralph Leesburg. Thanks to our AV technician, Mike Hale. We appreciate your help. And of course, we wanted to thank the folks for providing today's refreshments after the service, Linda Hill and Valerie and whoever else brought food. And finally, many warm thank yous for all your ongoing support of our church with your tithes and gifts. And we have some announcements. Again, Unity Women's Lunch Group will gather this Tuesday, August 5th at Scramblers Restaurant in Lewis Center, 12:30. Yoga is on hiatus for the month of August. It will resume in September. Are there any other announcements we need to know about today? No? Okay, well, it's the first Sunday of the new month, and so it's special day. So if you have a birthday or an anniversary or anything else you're celebrating in the month of August, please come up and we'll give you our special day song.
Anybody? My daughter's, Melissa, is turning some number. August the 6th.
Good, Ralph.
And,
I'm going to tell you how old she is. I'm going to tell you how old I am.
oh, Valerie.
I am gonna be up here all by myself.
Well, that's okay. Well,
Same people did it tonight.
I'll stand in for my husband Dick, because his birthday is this month also.
Happy special day.
Happy special day to you. Happy special day, you're wonderful. Happy special day to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you, you're wonderful. God is blessing you now. Okay, let's circle up for our peace song.
Here we go.
Join us in the back. Have a good week.
All right.
There's something about your song. I always hear cello. If you ever want to get together sometime and play, let me know. So melodic. Just feel the cello in there.
I just recorded one and produced this very quartet. And it was really nice.
Yep. There's always.
Oh, hey, Randy just did on the group text, Zach's coming to dinner too. Okay, well.
That's nice, Ralph.
Get lost.
This day, drugs, they did not clear my check.
Okay.
But then
I thought that was just
yeah,
mine.
the June check.
No,
But
well,
my
we need to
check,
do